Okay, so we're going to start talking about Venn diagrams. And Venn diagrams, at first it looks like we're just going to be coloring, but this is going to help us out with some of our probability problems. Now, our rectangle right here, this is going to represent our sample space, and then our circles are going to represent our unique events that are going to happen. So first, this is just going to tell us here what we're going to do. So circle A, we're going to color blue. Okay, so you're going to think about, why are we coloring all of this? Circle B, we're going to color pink. And I'm not doing super perfect because I don't want to be super long. I'm doing this video. All right, now this next one, what this means is this means A and B. So A and B. So when I shade in A and B, I want to shade in this middle part right here. Now this next one, this is A or B. A or B is going to be all of it. I'm going to shade in every single part of it. A or B. I know this seems kind of silly, but this is definitely going to help us later on. You might think, I don't understand why we're doing all this, but this is going to help us with our problems. Okay, so now the complement of an event A refers to all of the outcomes that are not included in A. The notation for the complement is going to be right here, and the probability is 1 minus the probability that A doesn't happen. And so this wants us to show us, okay, what's the probability that A is not going to happen? If I shade in everything but A, so I can shade in everything but A. So I'm not going to shade in circle A. So I can't shade in circle A. Okay, I can't even shade in where they intersect. So for the next part is I'm going to shade in everything but B. So I'm not going to shade in, I kind of went out of the lines over there, but that's okay. Okay. Now this one says everything but the middle, A and B. So everything but the middle. Okay, so I'm going to shade in everything but the middle. All right, so now what we're going to go ahead and do is we are going to go ahead and look at this, and it says let S represent a six-sided die. So remember, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A and B represent different events. It says draw the diagram for each pair of events below. Which of the events are mutually exclusive? So circle A represents a number less than 3. So that's going to represent 1 and 2. Circle B represents an even number, so 2, 4, and 6. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to draw my sample space. So here's my rectangle. And then I draw my 2 circles. Now I want to think about, do they intersect? And they should intersect because they intersect at 2. So I'm going to go ahead. You know what? I'm going to do that over again. And they intersect, let's say this is circle A, this is circle B, they intersect at 2, this is 1, 4, and 6. Now I have 3 and 5 on the die that aren't representative, so I can just put that anywhere in my sample space. Okay, so circle A has a 2 and an even number, so this is going to be 2, 4, or 6. Now again, they are going to intersect at 2. So again, I have 2, This is very similar. So here we have 4 and 6. Now again, I have 1, 3, and 5. And I can put them anywhere in the sample space. Now, number 10, okay, it says 2 and 3. Now, they don't intersect. So what happens is these two circles are going to be mutually exclusive because they don't intersect at all. And actually, that should go in my, there we go. This is A, this is B, so I have 2, I have 3, and then I have to go ahead and let's just say I have 1, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so that's very basic. Now, we're going to have problems, and it says 80 students were asked if they take math and history classes. The Venn diagram shows the number of students who took each class. Suppose one student is chosen at random, and answer the following questions. So, we want to think about how many students took math. So here are our students in math right here. So this is our Venn diagram for math. This is our Venn diagram for history. So the students that took math, we have a total of 37. The students that took history, we have a total of 40. Okay, so I just kind of put that there. Now, our probability are the students that took math. I already kind of answered that. That's going to be 37 over 40. Students that took history, I already answered that too. So 40 over 80, which is 1/2. The students that took math and history, that's going to be in the middle. So that's going to be 14 over 80, which I reduce it, which is 7 over 40. Now for 14, it says, what's the probability a student takes math or history? So what I have to go ahead and do is I have to go ahead and I have to make sure that I add up everyone in the circles. So just like I colored in before, math or history, I go ahead and I add in all of everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add 23 plus 14 plus 26. So this is going to be 63 out of 80. Now, what does the student represent? The student, or what does the 17 represent? The 17 right here represents students that did not take math or history. So students who did not take math or history. Now, the next part says, are the events taking math class and taking history class independent? And you know what, actually, I'm going to skip this one. We don't need to know this one for right now. So we're going to go ahead and skip that one. All right, the next problem I want to do, because there's a nice little formula that we need to know for this problem, and actually a lot of the problems that we're going to do. So it says students' records indicate that the probability of passing photography is 75%. So we're going to say this is 0.75 or 0.75. Failing economics is 0.65. So passing is going to be 0.35. We subtract from 1. And the probability of passing at least one of the two courses is 0.85. Now it says regions A, B, and C, and D make up the entire sample space of the students taking both classes. Now, what I'm going to tell you is there's going to be a formula here that you need to know. This is super important, and this is going to be super important for any of your Venn diagram problems. So the probability of photos and economics equals the probability of photos plus the probability of economics, and I'm just going to abbreviate that, minus the probability. I just want to go ahead and actually I should say the probability of photos or economics equals the probability of photos plus the probability of economics minus the probability of photos and economics. Okay, so this is like our conditional, what we've done with our conditional. So this is going to be important for a ton of our problems. So what we're going to go ahead and do is let's look at what we have, and we'll go through what we have. So this says here, the probability of passing at least one of the two courses. So this is always going to be at least one of our two courses. This is going to be 0.85. Okay, the probability of passing photography is 0.75. Plus the probability of passing economics is 0.35. Now, we don't know the probability, oops, I didn't want to do that. We don't know the probability of both of them. That's the intersection. So we're going to do minus x. That's what we want to solve for. And so this is an equation that we're going to solve for. So what's super important is, you know, this is at least. This is going to be at your at least, and that's what we're going to put right here. So now when you solve for this, when you just do this equation right here, here you're going to have 0.85 equals, you're going to have 0.75 plus 0.35, which is going to be 1.1 minus x. We bring that over to the other side, so 0.75 minus 1.1. This is negative, oops, did I do something wrong there? Yeah, I did. I just subtracted wrong in my calculator. We have, when I bring this over here, I'm going to get negative 0.25 equals negative x, x equals negative or positive 0.25. This is going to be in our middle. This is our passing both of them. So that is our middle. That's what I just found out. And now this is going to help me find out the rest of my Venn diagram. So for circle B is going to be 0.75 minus 0.25. So just in photography, that's going to be 0.5. Just economics is going to be 0.35 minus 0.25, which is going to be 0.1. So it says here, which regions, A, B, or C, represent passing both classes? Both classes would be region C. This is passing both classes. Which region represents failing both classes? That's going to be outside the circles. That's going to be A. Number 19, which region represents passing exactly one class? So passing exactly one class would either be, oops, B or D. So B or D. Now, we did a lot of this work before, but passing economics would be 0.35. Passing both classes would be 0.25. That's in the middle. Now, failing both classes, what I would have to do is I would just have to go ahead and I would, I'm just making sure, failing both classes. Ooh, why did I, hold on one second. I'm just checking my math here. Yeah, I would go ahead and I would, in order to fail both classes, this is 1 minus everything that's in my circles. So 0.5 plus 0.25 plus 0.1. And that would be 0.15. So 0.15 would be failing both classes. And then passing exactly one course would just be this 0.5 and 0.1. So 0.5 plus 0.1, which would be 0.6. So this is Venn diagrams. Now for homework, I want you guys to go ahead and it says that you are to do worksheet, wait a second, what worksheet does it say? Worksheet 8, but let's go ahead and let's look at worksheet 8 because I'm going to change some of the, I think I'm going to take out the one that has the 3. Actually, this first one is pretty hard. Well, if you look at this first one, what I would do is I would start with the inner circle first. Honestly, if you guys just want to start with number 2, you can go ahead and start with number 2 first. So if you want to take off number 1, you're not going to have 3 circles on the test. So if you want to start with number 2, I'm okay with if you start with number 2. Okay, so if you want to start there, you can go ahead and start there. That would be fine. And then you just do those few. All right, have a great night.